What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Lunchtime Sports, where we talk sports for lunch. And speaking of lunch, go ahead grab my Nestle quick. This is going to be my little lunch. I had some earlier, had a little sandwich earlier, but this my little lunch. Yo, appreciate everybody coming through. We're going to talk some sports. I plan on making this a regular thing, like at lunchtime. Just get on if I have time and talk some sports. Talk about some of the big topics today. And yeah, my West Coast guys, they just finishing breakfast, right? They're just getting breakfast, so it's all good. It's all good. By the way, this show is sponsored by my guys over at Underdog Fantasy. Put in exclamation underdog, sign up using code Shopmaster, get immediate 100% what they call it addition on your account. So if you put in 100, you get 100 free extra dollars. If you put in 30, you get 30 free extra dollars, and so forth. So appreciate my guys over at Underdog Sports. Happy to partner with them this football season. I will be having multiple leagues all season long. All season long, I will be doing weekly draft contests with you guys. Hopefully you join up. Just go ahead, join up. It doesn't even matter. You can even just put in $20 if you want. They have contests as low as $3, and they have a big multi-million, $10 million contest that you can enter for $25. That's right, $25. In fact, this is what you do. You put $25 in, get $25 extra, and now you can enter in that contest twice for a chance at a share of $10 million. $2 million to the first place winner, $1 million to the second place winner, and then $7 million divvied up between the rest of the field that qualifies. So make sure you sign up with code Shopmaster, or use the link. Use the link if you put in underscores under exclamation point underdog. There's a link. You can use that as well. Now, for those who are in states and you're like, well, Shop, I can't get into like the over and unders. Well, I'm not even really talking about overs. I'm talking about drafts. And you can get into the draft. And I got into some drafts yesterday. We'll go over it today between storylines. And so I can show you how I did and start to prepare for today's draft. So I'm going to enter in 3 drafts today. Yesterday I entered in 3 drafts. I won all 3 drafts. I might move up to a 6-player draft, just depending on the pool of games tonight. So I think this is my new thing. I'm loving the draft process, and I totally crushed it yesterday. I said that Milwaukee and the Padres were going to be the top teams as far as getting the runs. I stacked those 2 teams, and sure enough, they were 2 of the top 2, if not top 2 or 3. I know the Pirates put up a lot of runs as well, but not a lot of people had the Pirates anyway, so very happy about that. I wish I knew what I could play and not play in California. If you go out to the website, I believe there's a list, but DM James, I'm pretty sure you can play drafts in California. I know, like, depending on where you are in California, like, it's crazy. In Las Vegas, you can't play FanDuel Sports. Like, I think that is crazy that you, in Las Vegas, the betting capital of the world, you can't bet using certain apps. And so, didn't the Pirates play your pitcher? Yes, but I only got that pitcher in one of my drafts. And no, I didn't pick that pitcher. I picked the pitcher against Oakland. But yeah, that's exactly what Vegas is. Vegas like, nah, you're gonna come into the casino and bet. You're not gonna be using these apps and staying at home. No, we need you to walk past the poker table, walk past the craps table, walk past the roulette table to get to us, and then you got to walk back past those. I noticed in every place that I've been where there's a sports book, it's never right at the door, right? The sports book is never right at the door. It's like in the middle of the casino. We have two casinos here in Maryland. We have MGM and Maryland Live. Both of the sports books that are there, you have to go through those before you can get to the sports book. Exactly. You got to pass through all those temptations. How many Nesquiks I got left? Let's see. I think we have like a couple. Yeah, I have two left. They were good though. I appreciate my guy C Money coming through. He's not gonna tell you what I gave him, but it's all good. It's still a fair trade. I love Nesquits and not having to go out and buy some for pretty much a month. You know, I don't drink them often, but when I do, you know, they're good. All right, let's talk some sports. I think starting next week, I'm actually gonna open this up to you guys. To guys who want to chime in on a specific topic. You don't have to show your face, but it's going to be through Twitch, where I will just send you an invite. You come on and you'll be able to talk and stuff like that. So, no. The McCoy jersey is for sale. No, I gave him a new Elgato. I got him the new unpackaged. I mean, unopened. Anyways, let's talk sports. The first thing I wanted to talk about, which has been a topic all morning, is the NFL appealing the ruling by Judge Robinson on the 6-game suspension of Deshaun Watson. And here's my take about it. Like, I don't like, obviously it's a bad, right? It's obviously a bad ruling for the accusations that he has had and some of the other things that have gone on. I feel like 6 games wasn't enough. Like, he should have gotten a year, right? And so, but I kind of side with Judge Robinson when she says, hey, look, I'm going by what y'all put in y'all agreement. You know, according to what y'all say, he should only get 6 games. So the NFL is obviously upset. Even before the ruling, they wanted a harsher penalty. They wanted at least a year and some monetized fines. I think it's twofold though, Big Stupid. I think it's twofold. I think the league is actually, and Roger Goodell is actually in a, you know, everybody says, oh, this is a loss for everybody, right? Everybody loses this, you know, in this situation. But I actually think Roger Goodell wins, right? He gets to come in and give a harsher suspension. See, here's the thing. If she would have gave the harsher suspension, then everybody would have been talking about her and how harsh the suspension is, and it wouldn't have been on Roger Goodell. If she gives a bad decision, he gets to come in and say, hey, look, I don't like this decision. We don't like this decision as the NFL, and we're going to give a harsher ruling. Now, my thing is, why get a independent arbitrator in the first place? You know, if you're just going to come in and rule whatever you want. I think the issue that's going to come in hand though is that they have in their agreement that the owners should be held at a higher, not the same. They actually have an agreement that the owner should be held at a higher standard than the player. Well, that doesn't make any sense if you want this dude to serve a year and pay a whole bunch of money when you have an owner out there in the Dolphins owner, and we'll get to him in a second, who pretty much tampered, and, you know, the integrity of the game was compromised because he wanted his coach to throw games or to tank. Like, to me, that is more serious than what Calvin Ridley did, who is getting a suspension of a year, right? I don't think it makes them look bad at all, Big Stupid. It doesn't make them look bad by immediately overturning her first decision, because the public sentiment is that this ruling is way more lenient. It's too lenient. He should get more time and he should get fined. So I don't think it will look bad on the league. I think it makes them look good. This is why I said I think it's good for Roger Goodell, because he gets to come in and say, hey, look, we know that the people don't agree with her ruling, so we're going to give him more time and we're going to fine him. And now the public opinion will be, oh, look at the NFL. They're with the women on this. Like, they are behind the women, when actually they are not. So no, I don't I don't think it makes them look bad at all. I don't think it makes them look bad at all. What's up, Lawsony? What's up, Jay? Go Browns. Oh, man. I think the Browns, and I heard, I think Louis Reddick say, I think the Browns should go after Garoppolo. I think the Browns should go after Garoppolo. Like, with everything that's going on and their decision, they should go after Garoppolo. Because I think that makes the most sense for them, especially knowing that the NFL is probably going to rule that Deshaun Watson gets a year. So I think he's going to end up getting a year. I think he's going to end up paying a whole bunch of money. And I think Roger Goodell in the NFL looks bad. Makes him look good. What makes them look bad is the suspension and stuff of the Dolphins owner. I think that's what makes. I think they wouldn't have had any hesitancy if they served him correct. Because I don't think they served him correct. He should have got more than the $1 million fine, and then having to be away from the team for 3 weeks or whatever amount it was. Like, to me, that is, again, a travesty, because you had Calvin Ridley, who wasn't playing games. He wasn't even playing games. He bet on his team to win, and he wasn't even playing the games, and he got a year. Like, how does that happen? This guy wasn't even playing games, and he got a year suspension. But you're going to get an owner like 2 months and a slap on the wrist. To me, that is the travesty in all of this. And you can't have in your agreement, your players agreement, your league agreement, that says we hold owners to a higher standard, and then just slap him on the wrist, but then give Calvin Ridley a whole full year suspension, and now you want to give Deshaun Watson a whole year suspension. You still haven't done anything about Daniel Snyder and the constant wrongdoing he has done. Like, you're not doing that. Exactly. A first and a third is not a slap on the wrist. I get it. A first and a third is not a slap on the wrist. But compared to what those players got, or what Deshaun Watson is about to get, it is a slap on the wrist. It is a slap on the wrist. So it is a slap on the wrist. I mean, just think, Big Stupid. If you had a chance to get Tom Brady, if I said you have a chance to get Tom Brady or lose a first and a third, I think you would take that chance. I mean, how many first round picks end up being good anyways? Like, if you got how many first round picks end up being good as far as a career? The percentage is low. But if you telling me I got a chance to get Tom Brady, but if I get caught, I'll have to give up a first and a third, I might take that chance. I still don't think, even with the first and the third, $1 million fine, and being away from your team for 3 weeks is enough when it comes to the integrity of the game. When you suspended somebody for a year. You suspended somebody for a year who just bet on a game that he wasn't even playing it. Like, to me, that is not harsh enough. That is not harsh enough. You tell me how many first round picks turn out to be something. When you've been having first round picks for like the last 15 years and still haven't made the playoffs. So you tell me how much of a difference that first round pick is going to be. The Dolphins have first round picks for the last 15 years and have not made the playoffs. But you're going to tell me that a first and a third is not a slap on the wrist when you could get the greatest quarterback of all time on your team? Tell me I'm wrong. What kind of vague-ass definition is something? What do you mean? I just asked you. They've had first round picks for the last 15 years, right? If you took one of those first round picks away from them, would they be any better or any worse? No, because obviously those first round picks haven't amounted to anything. Tampering rules are different. But to me, tampering is still the integrity of the game. It's still just as bad as betting. It's still the integrity of the game. And again, if I tell you not every case is apples to apples, I agree. But so you're saying okay, let me ask you this. Are you saying what the owner did is worse or not as bad as what Calvin Ridley did? Again, they just drafted Jason Waddle. What about the first round picks they've had up until Jason Waddle? How did they turn out? Did it help them make the playoff? Did it help them win a championship? Now you tell me, if Tom Brady came to Miami, how would that have turned out? How would that have turned out? They probably make the playoff if Tom Brady comes to Miami. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you could say, hey, Jalen Waddle isn't just nobody, you know. But what about, you're naming one person out of the last 15 years that they drafted number one, I mean in the first round, and they haven't done anything. This is why I said, taking away their first and third is a slap on the wrist. It's not that huge. It's not that huge in the grand scheme of things. Because again, if they were able to get Tom Brady, you would have said it's worth it. I think if you told every GM, hey look, every GM, you have a 50% chance of getting Tom Brady, or you have a 50% chance of losing your first and third round pick. How many GMs would take that chance of getting Tom Brady? I would say everyone without an all-pro quarterback would go ahead and take that chance, because they know that the first and third round picks that they have taken over the course of the years hasn't done it, hasn't gotten them to the point where they want to be. But Tom Brady could. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it wouldn't be like they'll force Miami to get rid of Brady because of tampering. It was worth the risk. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not. If they were to sign, let's say they were able to sign Tom Brady, and then these tampering charges would come out, they wouldn't say, oh, you got to give Tom Brady back. No, they would do just like they did. Okay, you know what? You lose a first and a third, and you lose $1.4 million, and you got to stay away from the team until October. I think the owner would be like, okay, I mean, we got Tom Brady, so that's fine. Like, it's not going to deter GMs from still doing it. It's not going to deter GMs from still doing it. Now, granted, had they gotten Tom Brady, I think the fines and the picks would have been more. It might have been like 3 first round pick and 3 third round pick if they had actually got Tom Brady. I think then we're talking about something different. But this little slap on the wrist is not going to deter GMs from tampering. It wouldn't deter me from tampering. If there was a great quarterback like Tom Brady out there, and I knew I had a chance to get him, I would go ahead and get him. I would definitely go ahead and get him. So yeah. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think. All right, the next thing I wanted to talk about is, so we talked about kind of Deshaun Watson and the whole NFL appeal. We talked about the punishment on from the Dolphins. Oh, before we get on to the next portion, since we're at the bottom of the hour and this is just a lunchtime special, I do want to go over, I just want to go over the sponsorship by Underdog Fantasy and go through my picks from yesterday so I can show you how well I did. Let's see, move this over here. All right. So here is the draft that I did yesterday. Remember, I told you guys that I was going to stack the Milwaukee and San Diego games, and so that's what I did. And you can see right here, I won 92. The next person was 46. In this 3-man draft, 117 to 43, and then in this one, 93 to 62. So as you can see, I crushed it. I did have Peralta, who was going against Pittsburgh. I was a little wary of him because it was his first game back. He only ended up scoring 4.67, but as you can see, Cronworth I had everybody in double figures. You usually don't get that. Like, if you get everybody in double figures like this, is great. In this 3-person draft, I had Urias from the Dodgers. He got me 17. Look at Machado with 25, Adams with 19, Cronworth with 26, Soto with 11, Yelich with 19. It was a good day. And then in this 3-man draft, we had Blake Snell, who got 19 fantasy points, the best of the pitchers I had, but I stacked San Diego and Milwaukee, so Machado, Adams, Soto, Yelich. Profort didn't do anything, but his team scored 9 runs. I don't know how you are in a lineup that scores 9 runs and you end up not getting any. So that was kind of a bummer. But we're going to take a look at the draft picks today. I'm actually going to come back later and do my drafts online after I do some more research. But if we go to MLB, there's still some 3-player drafts here. We might get into a 6-player draft. I just want to, let me see how many games are on the slate tonight. All right, so it's a good number of games on the slate. I don't want to get into a 6-player draft and there not be a lot of games on the slate. Again, guys, make sure you sign up to Underdog. They have a great app. Their app is gorgeous, is great, easy to follow. But go ahead and deposit money. Use code SHOPMASTER when you do. Get 100% match on any money, on any deposit that you put in there. So I might get into this 6-player draft. I might get into the 6-player draft. Oh, but this one starts at 12:35, so I don't know if I'm going to get into that one. Let's see. Okay, looks like they all start at 6:35, so you might I think you can pick like the slate that you want. Let's see, if I go to see all. All right, I guess that's it. So I guess I got to put this in, like, actually it's 12:35 now. So it might be too late to enter these. I should probably start checking these in the morning because it looks like all of these start at 12:35. This is a 12:35 slate. But I'm pretty sure like after this, there will be the 7 o'clock because I want to say there's got to be like a 7:05 slate. So there'll probably be a slate that starts right here with the Washington Philly game. So but they also have pick'ems as well. If you want to go through the pick'ems, they even have pick'ems for the preseason game tonight, the Hall of Fame game between Jacksonville and the Las Vegas Raiders. So you can go ahead and bet on this stuff. Now, unfortunately, because I live in Maryland, I cannot bet on these. Even though you see that I'm doing this, I can't submit. See, I can put this in, but it's going to tell me that I can't do it because of my location. So we're not even going to try. So, but as you can see, they have games for tonight. They have MLB games as well. So I'll probably be on later, probably around 6 to do some drafts. If you want to come back around 6, we'll do some drafts. But these are the drafts that you want, especially this one, this Best Ball Mania 3, 1 million to the highest scoring team through round 1. And so this is an NFL draft where you're going to draft you're going to draft 18 players, which is 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and 10 bench. And then what happens is you're going to be put in a group of 12. So you're going to be in a league of 12. And then what happens is after the first round, after weeks 1 through 14, if you are in the top 2, you move on to the quarterfinals where they put you in another group. Then if you're top 2 in that, they put you in another group in the semifinals. And then they put you in the final group in week 17. And then whoever wins that gets $2 million. Second place gets $1 million. Third place, $500,000. Fourth place, $200,000, and so forth. They're playing up to $75,000. They're paying up to $75,200 place, which gets $35. And there's 451,200 entries. So it's halfway there. Almost halfway there. They're at 203,000 right now. So they're 45% filled. So there's still time to go ahead and do this. Again, use code SHOPMASTER or use the link when you put in exclamation SHOPMASTER for that. So I was going to do some drafts, but again, looks like I don't want to do it now. And it is only 12:35. Hold on, let me refresh. Maybe if I refresh, I'll get the latest. Okay, so this one is 3:45. All right, so I'm going to wait until the 7:05 game, but I'll probably do some research and stuff before then. There's that draft match. Josh Dotson going to be the Commanders' top wide receiver. I don't know about that. I don't know if Josh Dotson is going to be the top receiver for the Commanders. I think what will happen is that I'm hoping that he just opens it up more for McLaurin cash flow. I'm hoping that he opens it opens it up for McLaurin a little bit. We all know McLaurin is a superb talent, but he was really the only receiver last year, and to see the things that he did even as the only receiver was amazing, especially because he was double teamed a lot. And so I'm hoping that early on Josh Dotson might be the guy because he's not going to get a lot of attention. And then once they start having to pay more attention to him, then I think that's when you'll see McLaurin get a little bit more one-on-one looks. And hopefully, look, the strength of Carson Wentz is the ability to push the ball down the field. So you just hope that there are opportunities where he can get it down the field to McLaurin, to Josh Dotson, and that our running game is good. So while I'm pretty optimistic about my Commanders, like I'm not going all out and tell you that they're definitely not going to win the Super Bowl. I think they're going to win the NFC East? Probably not, unless there's an injury on Dallas or Jalen Hurts doesn't progress like some people feel like he's going to. So that's that. All right, the next thing I wanted to talk about was this Brittany Griner thing, which I find fascinating. The reason I find fascinating is because a lot of people are uproared that she just got, sentenced to 9 years in prison. But if you've been following the story, you gotta know that this was all planned, right? Like she was going to get convicted no matter what. And the faster that she got convicted, the faster that the U.S. could put out a deal to prison swap for. Now, I've been listening to CNN. I watched some CNN, and there have been people on there that say, hey, the president should not do this. They should not prisoner swap. You don't prison swap somebody who has been held illegally, and it sets a bad precedence. But I feel like the president is under a lot of pressure because this is a WNBA star, right? This is a WNBA star, and I think if it was any star, this would get precedence. Like, could you imagine if Steph Curry was detained in Russia? Could you imagine if this was Steph Curry and not Brittany Griner? Do you know that, like, you would see this everywhere? Yes, there would be straight up riots. There would be straight up pickets outside of the White House demanding that they do something. Like, I couldn't imagine if it was a male NBA star, a male popular NBA star. Brittany Griner is a popular women's WNBA star, granted. Like, I'm not taking nothing away from her. But this would pale in comparison the coverage that it would be getting if it was a LeBron James or Steph Curry or even, I would say, even somebody like Bradley Beal. Like, Bradley Beal is not very well known, like, he's a star. To say he's a superstar might be a stretch. But I'm talking about, like, if it was even Bradley Beal, this would be a bigger issue than it is now. A much bigger issue. But as we state right now, is not really, not saying that it's not a big issue, but it's not getting the coverage that I think it needs. But again, her pleading guilty and her finally getting sentenced to 9 years in prison is actually a good thing. I think the problem stems on how she spoke about the country. It's funny because she might have spoke out about the country, but she did a lot of stuff in that country, right? Like, she did a lot of stuff in that country. I don't think it matters. I think if they had any chance to lock up any. Oh, you're talking about the USA. Oh, no, I don't think it matters. I think if they had a chance to lock up anybody, they would lock. Again, if they found cannabis oil in Bradley Beal's suitcase, they would have locked him up. And they would have used him as a political ploy to get prisoners out that they want. She's been detained since February 17th. That's crazy. February 17th. Yes, I do remember that. She did trash our national anthem. So I think that's why people here don't have a lot of sympathy for her. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. Like, you think if it was some other WNBA star, you think it would be more publicity than this? I don't think so. Like, you think if it was, I don't know, maybe if it was Taurasi or Sue Bird, maybe it gets a little bit more coverage. I'm not sure, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think because she trashed the national anthem that people don't have a lot of sympathy for. I think people do have a lot of sympathy for, and they think the Americans should do something. But I think the people in charge, the military, I think those people are like, yo, we should not be, exchanging her for a known war criminal. I think that's the issue. They said Griner reacted to the sentence with a little emotion listening to the verdict with a blank stare on her face. Griner's defense lawyer said that they would appeal. The defensive team said that in sentencing, the court had ignored all evidence it had presented in Griner's guilty plea. Yeah, see, this is why I don't think like she's getting a fair shake in Russia. I don't think it has anything to do with her. Of course, it doesn't have anything to do with her having, cannabis oil, I don't think it's getting coverage because the government doesn't want it seen. Well, I also don't think it's getting coverage as much as because the Russians have already said, hey, look, we want to do a prisoner swap, but you got to stop posting all of this, in the media. Like, we want to do a prisoner swap, but you can't post all this stuff in the media. Yeah, right. So I think you're right. That is another reason why you're not seeing as much. But I don't know, Smee. I just have a feeling that if it was a male NBA star, we'd be going crazy. They'd be going crazy. All right, guys, we got 10 minutes left, so I want to run by some quick questions for you guys. Let me know what you think in the chat. Question number 1. Can Trevor Lawrence lead the Jags to a winning season? Can Trevor Lawrence lead the Jag to a winning season? Let me know. Jags went 3-14 last year. Ended at the bottom of the AFC South. For those who don't know who's in the South, you got Houston, the Colts, and Tennessee. They beat the Colts at the end of the year to keep the Colts out of the playoffs. Do you think Trevor Lawrence can lead the Jags to a winning season? That's a 9-8 record. No, this year, Big Stupid, this year. The right coach, he will. He definitely faced a lot of adversity. Definitely, I've said this a bunch of times. Urban Meyer was a complete joke of a coach. I'm gonna say no. I like Trevor Lawrence. Like, it's no question that Trevor Lawrence is a star. I still don't think he has I don't think he has enough help around him. And because this is a first-year head coach, right? I don't think that lends him to be super successful. Do I think they'll win more than 3 games? Yes. I do think they'll win more than 3 games. I do not think he leads them to a winning record. That's my only issue. All right. Question number two. And I've been hearing this a lot, and I don't understand it, but I'm going to ask the question anyways. Can Trey Lance win the NFL MVP? I agree, Big Stu, with that. I don't think the division is that scary, but to go from 3 to 9, can Trey Lance win the NFL MVP? Not this year. No. I'm with you two. I don't think he can do it. It's like, y'all have to remember, and I don't understand where all of this Trey Lance hoopla is coming from. Like, I get it. Shanahan is a great offensive mind. He's a great offensive mind. They have a great defense. They have great weapons in Kittle and Debo. But I don't think Trey Lance is that guy. Not this year. Look, if they start winning early, he'll definitely get some buzz, but is he going to be better than Rodgers? Is he going to be better than Josh Allen or Mahomes? Like, I definitely think he's a sleeper in a draft, though. We all have to remember, like, here's the thing. Remember what Kyle Shanahan did with RG3, how great RG3 was that year. Like, RG3 was great that year. He simplified, Shanahan and team simplified that offense, allowed Alfred Morris to run the ball, and simplified the game plan for RG3. I think he'll do the same thing with Trey Lance. But I don't think RG3 got any votes. Yes, that's what I was just about to say. think RG3 got any votes for MVP that year. For MVP that year. And that's the kind of year, and I don't think Trey Lance will have a better year than RG3 did that year. So I'm going to say no. I don't think there's a chance in hell that Trey Lance can win NFL MVP. I just don't think so. All right, my last question number 3, actually, of this set. There's been a lot of talk about the Cowboys, of course. Media just loves the Cowboys. And they talked to Zeke. And Zeke thinks that he's going to end up in the Hall of Fame. Do you guys think Ezekiel Elliott, ends up in the Hall of Fame? Do you think he ends up in the Hall of Fame? I'm going to just be right and say no. There's no way that Ezekiel Elliott ends up in the Hall of Fame. If you look at where he started and where he's going now, it's a downward trend. I saw a graph on ESPN somewhere on one of the shows, and it showed when he came into the league, he was up here. And he steadily went down and went down and went down. He has not progressed at all. There's no way that he thinks that he's going to get a golden jack. There's no way that he's going to get a golden jack. All right, we got 3 minutes left. We're going to play this quick fire. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And again, in the future, I'm going to have people call in to be able to answer these, live on the stream. But these are who will be better win-wise. Who will be better win-wise? Jags or Jets? Who will win more? I'm going to say the Jets win more, but I don't think it's going to be by that much. I don't think it's going to be by that much. I'm going to say the Jets win more. I think they have more talent on their team. I like their coach a little bit better, so I'm going to say the Jets. All right, who will win better? Who will be better win-wise? Chargers or Raiders? Both are in the same divisions. Both got play pretty much the same opponents. I'm going to say the Raiders, actually. There's a lot of people on the Raiders who think the Raiders might be second in that division. I know a lot of people talk about the Chargers as well, but I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one. I think the Raiders will have a better record than the Chargers. I hate to say it, but I think that's what's going to happen. All right. Who will be better win-wise? Green Bay or Buffalo? Oh, so I think I'm going to pick Green Bay by default. And the reason I say default is because I think they are going to have an easier schedule. They're in a worse division. I'm not saying that everybody in Buffalo's division, the AFC East, is good, but I just think Green Bay is going to have an easier time than Buffalo. I think it's going to be very close. I'm with you, Smeet. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a tie, but even without Devontae Adams, who is clear the best team in that division? I'm going to say Green Bay. All right, last one. Who will be better win-wise? Miami or the Commanders? The Dolphins or the Commanders? Who will be better win-wise? I'm going to go with Washington. On this because, again, I think they're in the worst division. They're going to beat the Giants at least twice, I think, depending on, I think they'll split between Philly and whatchamacallit. So I just think, we talk about the Jets being better. Patriots are always tough. And then you got Buffalo. I think, all three of those teams are going to be tough, for Miami. Where I think the Commanders are probably going to have an easier schedule. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for Lunchtime Sports, which you do shop. I appreciate everybody coming through for the quick hour. Again, we'll try to do this every day around lunchtime. I'll probably have a sandwich or something next time. Probably actually be eating. But I wanted to do this, get a quick hour in, talk some sports, talk about what's going on, the lead, which we talked about, the Griner situation, the NFL appeal, and all of this. So, again, make sure you go check out my guys, Underdog Fantasy. Put in exclamation Underdog. Use code Shopmaster when you sign up. Remember, they have draft contests as low as $3. Daily contests for as low as $3. I'll probably be back on a little bit later today. After doing some research, we'll do some live drafts on the air and see how we do. We went 3 for 3 yesterday. Let's make it 3 for 3 today as well. So I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed. Have a great rest of your lunch and enjoy the rest of your workday. I will see you guys later on tonight. This should do shop. Signing off. Love y'all. Peace.